Beau show. Some of you might know me, Vinney Chopra, and my partner, BeauEckstein. And we come to you live at 9:30 Pacific, which is 12:30 Eastern, every Friday. Thanks for joining.
And I think, Vinney, honestly, we at some point we're going to start a affordable housing multifamily division underneath Monale Investments. I'll run the division.
Wow.
We'll have a nonprofit component, and we'll help.
Wow.
We could probably help this in a big way, really.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting week. I hope it's been for you also. Beau, you have some questions, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of questions.
How are you, brother?
Good to see you, Vinney. Good to see you, Beau.
Oh, thank you. We are so privileged to have you.
Hey, Vinney, real quick.
Yeah, bud.
All right, I'll bet you sushi that you don't know that. What does SAS stand for?
Hi there, everybody joining us, watching us. We are live in 7 channels actually today, in the YouTube, in LinkedIn, in Facebook groups and Facebook. Thanks again for liking the show. Please give comments, share, and we are here for a very big show today.
All right, we are live here at our new time at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Today is going to be another excellent show. Our topic today is unlocking the business potential of ChatGPT, how we can use it in our business. It's a pretty remarkable tool. And I had a podcast this morning, and we were just talking about technology and just like how things are changing so rapidly. And to be he teaches people how to communicate better and present and do all that kind of stuff and facilitate dialogue, which is important, right? At the end of the day, the people that can communicate their message, regardless of the technology, you still have to be able to communicate the message. So if you can take the ChatGPT and be a good communicator, I think that's that's going to win for you. I want to give you a little quote here. I think we should do a quote every show. I
like
thought of
that. Oh yeah, that's
Here we go. Ready? You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. That's from John Maxwell. That's a pretty darn good quote. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. What are you doing in 2023 in your daily routine that's going to be different, right? If you had good results last year, or maybe you're unsatisfied with the results, what can you do this year in your daily routine that's going to move the needle the most, right? So anyways, we have Bill Davis joining us back. Bill Davis has been in the internet marketing business for, probably close to 20 years now, maybe longer. He's done a little bit of everything. I call him, he's like the MacGyver of internet marketing, meaning like I can give him a problem and he'll figure out the solution, right? And that's what with technology changing so quickly, we have to be able to like adapt technology. I think being an early adopter is good, maybe not the first in, but when you see technologies that are coming out, obviously Google's algorithm changes 2 or 3 times a year where they have big updates, right? So like if you're not up to date with what Google's doing and you want to be found in search, for example, like through SEO, and all of a sudden they have an algorithm change, you could go from top page to second or third page, right? So like knowing what's going on, even if you're a real estate person, if you're a multifamily syndicator, if you're a mortgage broker, if you're a real estate agent, you want to be found, right? And that's kind of I guess we're going to kind of dive in today on how to utilize AI, in an effective manner, because there's so many ways we can utilize this. I mean, this technology can basically write code for you. It could do so much. So I think today we'll dive in and talk about, what we can use it for our business, kind of some low-hanging fruit. And it was funny. I got done with this podcast episode this morning, and I couldn't think of a title. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, write an SEO optimized title for my podcast episode, and it wrote a fantastic. So the AI technology will work only as good as the the instructions you put in there or the requests you put in there. So how do we make the right requests? And what are some tips on using ChatGPT? I mean, I know it's new and a lot of us are still figuring it out, but Bill, what have you found so far with this technology that would help somebody that's first using it?
Yeah, it's interesting you should say all that stuff, because I was doing a little bit of research myself and using ChatGPT this morning. After you gave me that title of the podcast, I typed that in to ChatGPT. I'm a big proponent of something that, and this is all going to circle back. So Microsoft is fond of saying we eat our own dog food, right? Meaning whatever we produce, we consume it too. We use it. So it's interesting because OpenAI, which is the umbrella company over ChatGPT, they developed ChatGPT, Dolly, and other AI systems. Interestingly, it was co-founded by Elon Musk, but he bowed out of the company in 2019, thinking that AI was maybe, or OpenAI wasn't as transparent and as nice as it was meant to be. So he's made some statements over the years about AI, how it's going to be great, and his cars are using AI, and Tesla was competing with OpenAI for employees. So he bowed out of the company. But interestingly, Microsoft in 2018 or 2019 invested $1 billion in OpenAI, and rumor has it they've invested another 2, and they want to invest another 10. They run OpenAI. They are the computer network behind OpenAI, just so you know, and it runs on Azure, Azure.
Wait, Microsoft is?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
That's
that.
what I read too. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Microsoft's CEO is big into AI. He ran Microsoft's search engine Bing about 10 years ago. It's using it. You could see a sea change in who the search engine king is. It may no longer be Google. It may be Bing. It may be just ChatGPT. And they're always developing more and more. The data set used for ChatGPT is not public, but it's been estimated that it used about 500 terabytes of data to train the model. That sounds like a lot, but when you think of the entire web, just for example, it's nothing, right? So the more they can load into this thing, the better it's going to be, given that the information they use in their data set is factual. One of the drawbacks of ChatGPT is if it doesn't know an answer, it often seems to make it up. It will like make up facts. And if you ask it something about, like Lisa Marie Presley died yesterday. She's the daughter of Elvis Presley. It won't know anything about that, but it could guess. It may guess based on how you ask the question. Like, when did Lisa Marie Presley die? It may say something like, I don't know, but here's some information about her. It can only guess on things that are past 2021. But getting back to the whole idea of full circle and that kind of thing, Beau gave me the topic, and I input it into ChatGPT, and I said, write me an outline for this topic, and I pasted in the topic name. And I'm hesitant to do a live demo because live demos never work. They always fail. And as I was testing this before we got on the air, ChatGPT went down. So I'm not going to do it, but I will show you some kind of static. ChatGPT is kind of good at storing your history of what you prompt it with. So I just want to show you something that was kind of humorous when ChatGPT went down about 20, 30 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they put on their status page. So somebody write an acrostic poem about the status of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is currently down. Huge demand is. You can read it, but that's kind of funny. That's something that ChatGPT would come back with. Here's another one. Explain the status of ChatGPT as a pirate. Hilarious. So it has a sense of humor as well. However, when I put this prompt, create, oh, I'm not showing you my screen. Hold on. I will share my screen. This will be a lot funnier when you can see my screen. All right. So when I put this prompt in, create an outline for the following subject, and this title that Beau gave me, spit this out in about 5 seconds. When I said, expand on 1A overview, which was this part right here, right? About its capabilities. And it tells me all the capabilities. I could have done that for the whole thing. So I could have written a whole white on ChatGPT.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
imagine how much you could do with it. And when I cleaned this up, can you see my Word document?
Yeah.
I cleaned it up and just put it into a more visually appealing, readable format. This is what the outline looks like. And then I could make this a book if I wanted to. And I could just flesh this out. Prompts like, GPT, tell me about content generation around social media posts. And that would be a chapter, or that would be a paragraph. And the trick with using ChatGPT and any other AI tool, there's a couple tricks. Number one, you have to give it the right prompt. Play with it. I suggest you experiment with it and put in different prompts. Like, instead of saying create an outline for the following subject, just put in the subject and see what it says. It may give you an outline. It may give you just text. But change the wording. You could say something like what Beau said. Create an SEO optimized article on the following subject, unlocking the business potential of ChatGPT. And it would give you something different. If you type that same prompt in again, it may give you something different.
Yes.
So it's using that vast 500 or whatever terabyte data set that it was given and trained on to answer all of these questions. Now, on a 1 gigabyte hard drive, you can store a lot of documents, right? Like millions of documents. Just think of if you had a 500 terabyte, which is 500,000 gigabytes.
Yeah.
I think I did the math right. That's a lot of data, but it's not nearly the amount of data that's out there. So a caution is it doesn't know everything. Another caution is it can give you incorrect information, either because it sourced it wrong, its source was wrong, or because it just doesn't have the data. And sometimes it guesses.
I see. Bill, I wanted to ask you one thing. Somebody mentioned that, hey, ChatGPT is plagiarism. So I asked in a ChatGPT, the answer I got is no, ChatGPT is not considered plagiarism. It's a natural language processing system that is used to automate interactions with conversation. Chat GTP, GPT, uses a predefined database of words and phrases to generate natural sounding replies.
Yes. It's not plagiarism, although you will probably see some lawsuits about plagiarism and the use of ChatGPT. Because what if you said, it's really great at this. If you said something like, if you gave it the prompt of, give me a summary of the book, The Grapes of Wrath, which was written by John Steinbeck, who I'm pretty sure is dead, but he probably has heirs who, care about his intellectual property, right? Or he has, there's a company that owns the rights. Somebody owns the rights to Grapes of Wrath. They're going to be very interested in somebody who may take that book, write a summary, and try to sell that for like commercial purposes. There may be lawsuits coming down the pike on this.
So
Um,
is it not good? I know online I did go. I said, wow, how about if I find out what's a search engine that searches plagiarism? So there are several online. Grammarly came up on the top, by the way,
Mhm.
and they could do it and then you could change or whatever, right? Yeah. So we want to be very
Yeah.
careful when we use this data. Another thing I just caught from you, Bill, it's up to 2021. Now it's 2023. So what is the information in that 2 years? That's a lot, or a year and a half, that's not going to be given to us.
Right, right. And they say, so we're on GPT 3.5.
3.5.
It's guessed that 4.0 will be coming out maybe as soon as this quarter.
I see.
So that's going to be a much larger data set.
Much larger.
So, and it's going to include presumably more current
Mm.
information. I don't know where the stop's going to be, maybe sometime in 2022. Certainly can't foresee the
Yeah.
future, so we can't have 2023, but it can certainly have 2022 in there. And one of their databases or sources for their data sets is some book repositories. Like a while back, and I'm not saying Google is the source, but a while back, Google was scanning and doing OCR on like thousands, if not millions, of books, and they had them in a database. And I
Mhm.
think other entities did the same thing. I know that one of the sources for GPT is a one of those scannable book databases. So
Mhm.
it probably has the Grapes of Wrath in there. And if you said, give me the top 10 quotes from the Grapes of Wrath, it
Mhm.
would. And in which case, if you didn't cite your sources, you would be in possibly in violation of a copyright.
Sure. Now,
So
for people who are watching us, is it free right now? And maybe Microsoft might charge later on for the
yes,
software, or there is a
yeah,
pro version too. I saw, right?
yeah. I don't know about that. Everything I've been seeing is it's free.
Free. Mhm.
Um, However, Microsoft, because it's the backer, financial backer, and also the infrastructure backer
Mhm.
of most of OpenAI, they're introducing the same or similar models and technologies into their own products. So
Mhm.
you're going to see Bing, like for example, I've seen that Bing is actually including in its search results, if it's relevant, um, images that were made by its other AI, Dolly. So Dolly is another AI
I
um,
see.
where you type in a prompt that says, "Give me a picture with a Hawaiian background, monkeys climbing trees, eating bananas," and it'll render a picture. And some of those images are showing up in search. So
Wow.
they're going to use it. I guarantee you, if they're not already using it, they're going to use it in Word, because what author doesn't want some writer block help, right? I,
Yes.
I can't
Yes.
think of what to say now. Type in a few words and it types out the rest for you. Now, that's not to say you should use it verbatim. I'm not telling you you should or shouldn't.
Yes.
But what
Yes.
I would do, and this is getting into the future too, right? And I want to talk about that. So remind me to talk about that. Um, they don't know your voice yet.
Yeah.
They don't know how you talk. They don't know your audience. They don't know, who you talk to on a regular basis and how you talk to them. And, depending on, and you can say this in your prompt, but it doesn't know you. But, if you have kids, you talk to your kids with a different tone of voice, depending on what's going on. And, depending on the situation, you're talking to a group of 10 people in a business setting differently than you would talk to a professional group of 3,000 in an audience, right? So
Yep.
you can say, give me a formal speech about, or give me a casual talk about, and it does a pretty good job, but it doesn't know you. So what's interesting is if
Mm.
you in the future could submit your work from the past, say like you select, say, 10,000 documents or videos or whatever from your past,
Mhm.
assemble it into a data set and submit it to your own personal space in an AI system like Microsoft's Azure. Maybe you can have your own little slice of a server that you would pay for. It could be subscription based, it could be use based, it could be both, it could be what's the other word? Bandwidth based,
Yep.
depending on how much people use it. But if you could upload a sliver of yours and then say to ChatGPT, write an article about blah 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 using my
My
voice,
my.
and then it looks at all your information and renders in seconds the answer that would be best suited to you, and then you take that and you tweak it a little bit, because I have seen grammatical errors, I have seen you know missed punctuation, stuff like that. That's all simple stuff, but
Yeah.
um, you could always change things up so that it is actually, they are your words, not their.
Personalization can be adding some sentences, changing formats, things like that. No,
That's
beautiful.
the future I see for it, and I think that's going to come quick.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? So 86% of all searches, this was based on a 2021 study, are Google searches versus whatever the difference, and then 6% is Bing. But Bing barely doesn't get any search volume. I mean, that's still millions and millions and billions of searches because there's so many searches. But if Microsoft is the granddaddy of AI, they could maybe make Bing compete in a larger way with
Yes.
Google. So then
Mhm.
I've been neglecting looking to see where I rank in Bing because I never think I'm getting people that find me from Bing, but maybe some
Yep.
people are.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I'm going to
and
start looking at Bing.
and it
Yeah.
depends on your personal audience again.
Mhm.
If you're, I'm going to make a blanket statement here, so don't like kill me over this, but I've read and I have seen in person that more Bing tends to be used more by women than
Oh wow.
they use Google.
Oh
Not
wow.
not to say that
Yeah.
70% of women use Bing, but like the 6% that Beau just talked about, probably 70% of that 6% is women,
Mm, mm.
right? And Bing is also reputed to be, and I've seen this, more um, more geared towards buyer intent. So if you're selling a product and somebody goes to Bing versus Google, you're
Mm.
probably going to get the click on Bing.
Oh, wow.
But again, since the volume is so small, 6% or whatever it happens to be, and Google's 86%,
Sure.
the point is really maybe optimize for both.
So being Bill, I know you have been kind of really been ironically helping me now with my team. I mean, to get searched on the top in YouTube or Google or Bing, ChatGPT can play a big role. I know, Bo, you shared with me, brother, after the podcast, you're able to do all these, you know, great things with it.
So I'm going to
Can
give you an
we?
example. This
Yeah.
is relevant because Bill and I worked on. We did a YouTube video. It was a Q&A, a question that came in for our podcast, and we answered that question. We do a Q&A session on our show now,
Yeah.
and then we then made it into we wrote a blog post around that topic, and we utilized the services of ChatGPT on this one, and we are ranking first right now on Bing and second or third on YouTube
Oh
for the
wow.
specific search, right?
That was yesterday.
That was
That was
yesterday. So the point being is that I don't think you should go in and use stuff like every single word, but to prompt ideas, to configure thoughts. It's an amazing tool. So how can we better use this tool? It really, you go down the weeds, you get a reply back, you go down the weeds more, you go down the weeds more. So like the podcast we just shot today, or I shot with his name was Brendan. He's a really good communicator, teaches people how to communicate on a high level on stages. And so I'm going to take the transcript, I'm going to put it into ChatGPT. I'm going to have them summarize SEO optimize show notes. And then I'm going to use that. So instead of me having to outsource that or have a virtual assistant do the show notes, and then then you can also take it one step further and write this into a blog post. So now I just created, it's my original work, but instead of me going and having going to Fiverr or somewhere like that, now I can just do it instantaneously. My time to expedite is like 20x now. We can be found 20x more. So what it took us in the past, now we can do 20 times more in the same amount of time. Period.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And
Yeah,
also,
you can almost completely, like, I'm not suggesting you do this because I think VAs are awesome, but you can offload a lot of the kind of the really simple stuff, or maybe, think about this. You have let's say you do a 30-minute YouTube video with an interview. Let's say Beau interviewed Vinney, right? If you do it with Zoom, they offer transcription services, right? With their business plan. You get that transcription, you put that into a tool like ChatGPT, and you tell it to do two things. You might even be able to tell it to do 3 or 4 things, but the first thing would be summarize this video. That becomes your YouTube description, right? Or maybe your blog post text, and then say, write a 1,500 word blog post using the information from this transcription, right? And it will do it for you, and it will do it for you in a really
good
summary, human-like way, because it's basically using human created things to learn. And in part of its learning, there are, the people who are in OpenAI. There's 2 parts. The people in OpenAI, they are training it. They are like giving it prompts and seeing what comes back and saying, yeah, that's good, or no, that's bad, or this can be improved here or there. What they've also done is they've crowdsourced this to the extent that when you put in a prompt in ChatGPT and it gives you something back, and let's just say it's wrong, right? For a fact that X didn't happen in 1947, right? It happened in 1948. You can give it the thumbs down. There's a little thumbs down or a thumbs up icon, and you can say, and they ask you, okay, how could we improve this? Well, this really happened in 1948, 1947. Here's my source, blah, blah, blah. It learns. It's taking all that feedback. Wow. Now, here's how you can game the system if you could do this on scale, right? You could give it a bunch of BS and give it the wrong feedback so that it learns. Like, if you tell a kid the wrong information and they memorize it, that's what they think it is, right? It's very similar. But hopefully, the masses, it's kind of like Wikipedia, which is one of their big sources for their data set. Wikipedia is generally pretty good because people like you and me can serve as editors. And when there's factually something wrong on Wikipedia, it's usually resolved within minutes, if not seconds. People are looking at this stuff all the time, and they will correct it. So that's what's going to happen with ChatGPT, and it's going to get better and better and better. But you can't tell me with any new technology. Think of atomic energy. When we figured out how that stuff worked, what's one of the first things we did? We made a bomb. That's how this stuff works. It's always used for evil as well as good. We happen to think we're good people, but there are going to be some people who use this for nefarious purposes, and the companies that are involved in AI have to be very, very aware of that.
And it sounds like there's going to be there's a race right now between probably Google and Microsoft who can figure this out first. And there's so many billions of dollars at play that you can imagine what's going on in the background. We don't even know, right? Yeah. We don't even know what's going on. But if you're those 2 powerhouses with the amount of capital they have behind them, I can only imagine that like this is probably Microsoft's time to like if they can ever do it, it would be this time now where they can
to
gain
shine.
some to be they could become a even if they got 25% of the searches. That's how
Yeah.
much money is created through ads.
Don't forget about Facebook or Meta
Yeah.
and Amazon.
The metaverse and Web3. I was just going to say AI, metaverse, and Web3. How that is going to change the whole picture. It's mind-boggling.
I mean,
Really.
when you really think about it, I mean, we're all into selling things, right? That's what we do as marketers.
Yep.
That's what we do as real
Every
estate investors.
business.
You buy things in order to sell them, or you buy things in order to get income, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about assets. And where are a lot of assets?
Mhm.
Amazon. They know what people are buying. They've been using, I don't want to call it artificial intelligence, but they've been using machine learning and algorithms to suggest, hey, you bought this, maybe you'll like this. Or
Right.
you're going to buy this thing. Why don't you buy these 3 things that go with it? Think how much better that's going to get.
Oh, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling how this AI is getting put into not only just Amazon, go to other sites online where you're buying clothing and other things and all that. They're throwing more things in your basket. Do you want this, this, this? Before even checkout, they give you more
Yeah.
prompts. Do you want to buy something more? You forgot about this. Oh my gosh. No, this is such an exciting topic. And I think people who will be able to use this will be winners. They will be the cutting edge. I know all three of us talk about, that we got to adapt, because if we don't adapt and we say, nah, I'm going to wait for 5 years and see where it goes, they will be the losers. So I'm just saying, that we need to really adopt the technology. You were saying something to remind you, Bill. Yeah.
About the
Uh,
future.
yeah, future. Tell us.
I think I talked about that when I was talking about those slices on the server about my or your
Yes.
personal information, the things
Mhm.
that you've created over time
Yeah.
so that it learns your voice, it learns
Yes.
what you like
Yes.
to talk about, how you talk about it, and then it renders information back to you after you prompt it
Yes.
in more of a personalized way. I think
Got it.
that's what I was going to talk about.
Got it. The exciting part, which really tells me, and again, I love international assistants, I call it, because they're in different country. A lot of people are virtual now in USA. I mean, because they're not working from my home, my office, they're virtual, right? So international assistants, there will be other things we could really accomplish and make their life easier,
Yeah.
make their job even much easier if we could teach them these skills, which they will like to also, by the way. They could be 20 times faster. Why not? Because now they're using on their knowledge, their things. But with this chat GPT and other, is there another software comparison to this one, Bill? I wanted to ask you.
Well, ChatGPT's gotten all the press lately,
Okay.
and it's good for answering a whole host of questions. And
Yeah.
I even my kids into punk rock music, and we were talking about subgenres of punk rock music, and he said there's a punk rock music genre called cowboy punk, like
Uh-huh.
country punk. And I basically told it to write a song
Uh-huh.
in the genre of cowboy punk, and I gave it a few parameters like talk about I divorced my wife, it's a country song. I divorced
Yeah.
my wife, I lost my girlfriend, and I got a cat. And it rendered the song in like 15 seconds. And he loved it. And I think he should try it.
Oh my gosh.
But getting to your question, in terms of writing, there are a whole lot of tools out there. There's one called Writer, Rytr, and it's good. There's
I
also one called Word Hero, which I use a lot.
Word hero. Yeah.
Word Hero, it's very good. You do the same thing, except you do the same thing. It has a bunch of different categories and topics you can talk. You can basically massage your prompt into getting different kinds of output. Like you can say, I want a blog outline, I want a blog conclusion, I want a blog intro, I want a blog headline. You could do the same thing I could write a movie script, I could write a screenplay, that kind of stuff. Write me a white paper, all those things. Word Hero is awesome, and
Word heroes.
it's not. I think it was on AppSumo. I can put a link in the.
Sure,
In
please.
the
Yeah.
link.
And what
Um,
was the other one? Writer or something?
Writer, RYTR. It's
Ah,
very good too. I like Word Hero more. It suits my purposes better, but
yes,
they're both very
yes.
good, and they're both using AI.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Bill, you're just bundle of so much great. And, again, Bo also, I really value, our relationship and friendship because we are teaching the world. A lot of people will not get to know these things. And I'm so glad. And by the way, this is Vinny and Bo show. We come live to you at 9 a.m. We're going to change the intro and the outro. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific now, 12 p.m. Eastern, and really really proud to have Bo with me and now Bill also, and we bring a lot of great guests. So please like us and share this episode. This becomes into podcast also for us. Any last comments? I know we are about 36 37 minutes into it, Bo. Yeah.
No, I just think that, like we've been saying, I think whatever business you're in, you should be learning this and seeing what
Yes.
technologies are out there and being an early adopter to this stuff. Like I remember getting found for a TV show on YouTube, and it took me a few
Mhm.
years to realize that YouTube was an amazing thing. If I would have jumped right on YouTube, I would have had 50,000 followers or
Yeah.
subscribers on YouTube, right? Like so, use use these platforms to your advantage. Facebook groups, like same thing. I grew a big group, but I didn't really follow up. I could have
Yeah.
200,000 people in a group right now that was very interactive. So it
Sure.
doesn't take that much time. It's the consistency. Bill wanted
Yep.
to
Yeah,
say something.
one note. A lot of us build like social media groups and stuff like that. You could totally use ChatGPT to
Yes.
put out a post every day to your group. It could be inspiration. Bo, I think you started with a quote this morning. It could be something
Yeah.
like that. It could
Yes.
be something about the industry, the latest piece of news that happened in your world. Um, you don't have to think up all these things. You
I
you
love
can
it.
put kind of things on autopilot. You can send it to your VA and say, "Here are the prompts I want you to type in,"
Yeah.
and then they do it, and then you give them 25 prompts, and for the next 25 days, you've got 25 topics.
I love it. I love it, Bill. Is it okay since we are just wrapping up? What's a good blog? I know I'm using Go High Level, as you know, we discussed that and showed it. I'm going double down, triple down on Go High Level and bringing click funnels. I brought everything in there. Active Campaign. I'm bringing everything into Go High Level. It's amazing program. It's just mind boggling, and it does with accuracy all the texting and mass texting, and it tells me who is looking what. It gives me analytics. And
Mhm.
I mean, this is the best program I've ever seen. I'm not getting anything paid for it, but the thing is, that's where I want to go. And they just started blogging. So I am just so excited if through Go High Level I can put my blogs all over the internet, and
Mhm.
it's so simple. So you want to share
You,
something? I mean,
you as long as it's a WordPress theme,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like that's where we so there's themes. So like Bill owns like he buys into some themes, right? And like so when we start a new website, we pick a theme. Like you can have a theme. Like I was looking at doing a real estate investor magazine online. You can have a WordPress theme for a magazine online.
I
So
see.
like I don't know what Go High Level's blog platform is, but like
Mhm.
if you want the most SEO friendly, you want a WordPress website. I think Bill will
WordPress.
probably
And
concur.
Vinny, when you gave me the overview of Go High Level, I did see where you could like bring in your WordPress blogs. So I
Oh,
would
we
start
did.
with WordPress because it's
Okay.
kind of the industry standard. It's SEO friendly. It's great.
Mhm. Mhm.
Themes, plugins, you can get anything for it. It's highly developed.
Love it.
You know, security is not the issue that people make it out to be. I mean, yeah, you
Yes.
got to keep things secure, but that's just really good usernames, good passwords, good server side security, good
Authenticators, two-step,
authenticators,
everything, brother. Yeah.
2FA, yeah, all that stuff. You got to do all that stuff, but you should
Yeah.
do all that stuff with all of your stuff. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
it's getting to the point where it's easy. it's not easy. It's because there are so many people out there with kind of bad intentions. It's a numbers game for them. And if
Yeah.
you just happen to fall for clicking a bad link, you're in trouble. So don't do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that just in general, blogging is still the way to go. It's the best way to be found on Google, Bing. Well, I should say
Mhm.
second best, maybe. YouTube videos are rocking.
Rocking.
We're crushing those right now. So
And
blogs and
congratulations,
YouTube.
1 million views. I want to tell everybody publicly. I mean, isn't that great? I mean, you guys were able to accomplish that in such a short period of time, huh?
And it's for a very, very deep but narrow niche,
Focus.
right?
Wow,
It's
neat.
not like, you know, money management or
Yeah.
how to garden or recipes or anything like that. It's very, very narrow but deep niche that even those have like we Bo and I talk about this all the time. We will never be able, unless we use something like AI, we will
Yeah.
never be able to explore and exploit all of the keyword opportunities that are out there because I want to talk about this in a future one if you guys have
Yes.
me on again.
We
You know,
will. We
it's like
will.
you know you have these keyword phrase clusters, right?
Yeah.
Where if Vinny, tell me your main website. What's your main website URL?
My main website right now is vinneychopra.com. I want to build everything
Okay.
around it. I have two other websites, but I'm trying to see why should I not fold under
So,
one.
so if you were going to try to rank for a keyword phrase, let's just say multifamily lending or
Yeah.
multifamily syndication, right?
Syndication. Yeah. Yeah.
If you write one blog post on that, you probably won't get found.
Sure.
If you write 100
Yeah.
or 200 blog posts about multifamily syndication, using long tail keywords, you will, and you interlink all of those articles together so that Google and Bing and other search engines, ChatGPT maybe even, they will know that, oh my gosh, this guy's an authority on this concept. So if you write one post, you're
Oh
not going
my
to get ranked.
gosh.
Now,
Bill,
now
you
if you're
told
if
me I've
you're
got
if you're looking,
5,000 videos. I have done four or 5,000 videos. If I just transcribe them and make them into blogs, now can I put blogs like my team can do 20 blogs a day or no? The Google will say no, that's too much.
But you also want to optimize them for search too. So
Yeah,
there's certain
that's true.
there's
So
headers, there's
slowly put them on. Oh, you gave me something very special to do, brother. Oh my gosh.
and if
Because
you're ever afraid that you think Google's going to think you're spamming,
yeah,
just schedule your blog post. Do like 5 a day.
yeah, 5 a
No,
day.
I mean, think about this. How many posts does a place like TMZ do every day?
Mm-hmm,
100?
mm-hmm.
How many stories do they break every day?
Every
It's 100, it's dozens. Let's just say it's
yes,
dozens.
yes.
Do you really think by you doing a dozen a day, you're gonna be penalized?
I
Probably
got
not.
you.
But if you feel like you are, just schedule them.
Yeah,
That's a function. That's an easy function of any content management system like WordPress or Joomla or any of them.
I
You can
love
schedule
it. I
those.
love it. Well, this whole month of January, we are really doing productively, giving people ammunition. What 23 can really become for them in marketing and using the cutting edge. Love to invite you again next Friday if you are available, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And everybody who's watching us, please join us at 9 a.m. And it's going to be fantastic. We want to change your world, and you could grow sales in your company because adopting these kind of technologies can take you to the next level. It really can. So thank you again for joining. Both thank you, and brother Bill, thank you. Let's go out with a bang, and we'll see you next week at 9 a.m. Pacific or 12 p.m. over there East Coast. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks.
happy to be on your show finally.
I'm a long-time fan, and I watch all your guys' content.
It's awesome. We're very, very, very invested in our community.
It's wonderful to be here.
This is Vinney Chopra and also my good buddy BeauEckstein. And we are so happy.
It's amazing what's going to happen. So, we're amped up to do the show, and we got a lot of hype about the guest today, so I'm excited.
Oh, I know.
So excited to come live to you all. You live 9:30 every Friday. How to make your business